Everyone knows that the best way to present your touch-tone phone is in a coffin. Come on down to the Mart. Everyone knows that the best clowns are macrame clowns. Come on down to the Mart. They said you couldn't combine a beer mug, Bud Light logo, and a light bulb in one. They were wrong. Come on down to the Mart. A teddy bear holding a kid with a hockey mask, Groot, or Snoopy. Choose your fighter. Come on down to the Mart. Everyone knows that the best stuffed animals are the cute and cuddly stuffed animals. Come on down to the Mart. There's no reason to cry. The aliens are coming. And just wake me up when they get here. Come on down to the Mart. Nothing brightens a room quite like a rope monkey, except for maybe this thing. Come on down to the Mart. I swear, she was like this when I got here. Come on down to the Mart. It's not really a martini glass unless it can hold an entire bottle of vodka. Come on down to the Mart. There's only one thing better than a lion tamer lion, and that's a Tiger Swami. Come on down to the Mart. Everyone knows that the best kind of love is the commanded love. Lasts forever. Come on down to the Mart. Everyone knows that true words of wisdom are painted on a metal plaque. Hang this up in your front door. Come on down to the Mart. These figures here are to commemorate the great Friar brain removal of 1106. Come on down to the Mart. Everyone knows that the best cabinets are the quote-unquote cabinets. Come on down to the Mart. Because when you think zebra, you always think luscious tropical jungle. Come on down to the Mart. Okay, everybody, when I call your name, don't get out of the foxhole. Just wave your hand up in the air. Come on down to the Mart. They said you couldn't combine a parking meter and a bedside lamp. They were wrong. Come on down to the Mart. A lot of people don't realize that some of Napoleon's most successful campaigns happened during his pouty period. Come on down to the Mart. Everyone knows the best liquid wax comes in a box. Come on down to the Mart. Everyone knows the best alcohol comes in a hippie bottle. Come on down to the Mart. Is anybody missing their spine and pelvis? Come on down to the Mart. Everyone knows that when you think golf, you think M&Ms. Come on down to the Mart. Everyone knows that Pepsi made the best syrup for your syrup fountain. Come on down to the Mart. A lot of people don't realize that the best Jim Beam comes in a beaver bottle. Come on down to the Mart. When you got a real formal event coming up, sometimes it's difficult to choose between your Garfield tie and your Bugs Bunny and Tasmanian Devil tie. Come on down to the Mart. Nothing says something like this guy. Come on down to the Mart. Nothing says antique phone like Mona Lisa. Come on down to the Mart. Just remember, if you're going to make a sign that says starts here, make it shaped like a stop sign. Come on down to the Mart. They said you couldn't combine fiber optics, an ice cream cone, and an M&M. They were wrong. Come on down to the Mart. Nothing says Monster Energy drink like a stained glass window. Come on down to the Mart. Nothing is more nostalgic than an electric s'mores maker. I remember huddling around the electric cooker when I was a kid. Come on down to the Mart. Everyone knows that nothing reflects the capitalistic spirit quite like Grogu. Come on down to the Mart. Just remember, the next time someone calls you a zealot, this is what they're picturing. Come on down to the Mart. Do you like my hat? I can barely see it. Tell me about it. Come on down to the Mart. Nothing reflects the true art of dentistry quite like this sculpture. Come on down to the Mart. Everyone knows that nothing says Christmas like creepy mice. Come on down to the Mart. Nothing says Van Halen quite like an oak-trimmed mirror with stained glass. Come on down to the Mart. Nothing classier than a weightlifting frog holding a chalice. Come on down to the Mart. Nothing says salt and pepper quite like feuding hillbillies. Come on down to the Mart. Everyone knows the best footstools actually have feet. Come on down to the Mart. A lot of people don't realize that the true logo for yoga is a frog. Come on down to the Mart. A lot of people don't realize that Frank Sinatra was actually an amazing magician. Is this your card? Come on down to the Mart. They said you couldn't combine a purse, leather, and a hummingbird. They were wrong. Come on down to the Mart. A lot of people don't realize that some of the best hitters in all of baseball were clowns. Come on down to the Mart. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Christmas Snow Globe City. Come on down to the Mart. Everyone knows that glass grapes are classy, but the best glass grapes are the ones in a lamp. Come on down to the Mart. Once James' giant peach fermented, his friends had to step in. Come on down to the Mart. The Knights didn't realize that the flowing drapery wasn't a good idea until one of the horses lost its front hooves. Come on down to the Mart. Once they completed the Noah's Ark jigsaw puzzle, the entire Robinson family knew they just had to shellac it and frame it. Come on down to the Mart. Everyone knows that the rules to a good Easter decoration is keeping it simple. Come on down to the Mart. Some people say that the best Air Jordans were the ones with the babies and the soles. Come on down to the Mart. Everyone knows the key to a cute mouse sculpture is the eyes. Come on down to the Mart. They said you couldn't combine disco ball mirrors, a tequila bottle, and a poncho vest with a Corona logo. They were wrong. Come on down to the Mart. Nothing says McDonald's like Ronald McDonald singing karaoke with Frankenstein. Come on down to the Mart. They said you couldn't combine a pink elephant, a brown coat, and fingerless gloves. They were wrong. Come on down to the Mart. Everyone knows that the best way to display your origami clothes made out of maps is in a nice frame. Come on down to the Mart. It says here your head's a little misshapen. Look who's talking. Come on down to the Mart. Everyone knows the best pictures have giant faces on them. Come on down to the Mart. Everyone knows the classiest ashtrays are made out of tire. At least that's what this troll says. Come on down to the Mart. These fish are beautiful. Yeah, but when am I going to get to feed the fish? Come on down to the Mart. Everyone knows that the best tiki glasses wear sunglasses. Come on down to the Mart. The gymnastic albino frog was good, but she really stole the show when she got to the floor exercises. Come on down to the Mart. You know what they say, you want to grab the bull by the horns? Make sure you bring two friends who wear the exact same outfit. Come on down to the Mart. The trick to mice sculptures is understanding that the ears can never be too big. Come on down to the Mart. The go-to Christmas gift this year, the alligator shoehorn. Come on down to the Mart. Nothing says something like this thing. Come on down to the Mart. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the Thimbleheads. Come on down to the Mart. People weren't so concerned about Margaret and Elaine moving in together. They were more worried about the chicken that Elaine kept. Come on down to the Mart. Everyone knows the best way to display popcorn is with Pee Wee Herman. Come on down to the Mart.
Oh, God dang it, what an idiot! I'm sorry.
Everybody knows the best way to present your touch-tone telephone is in a fine wood-carved box. Come on down to the Mart. Everyone knows the best liquid. Nothing says Monster Energy drink. Nothing says Van Halen quite like an oak-trimmed mirror with stained glass trims. Nothing classier than a weightlifting frog holding. Nothing says salt and pepper. Once they had finished the Nova, everyone knows the best rule for Easter decorations is to keep them simple. Come on down to the mall. Everyone knows that the key to a cute mouse sculpture is all about the eyes. Come on down to the mall. Ah, a lot of people don't realize that the best tequila comes in a disco ball glass covered vessel wearing a Corona poncho. Come on down to the Mart. Everyone knows that the best tequila comes in a mirrored colored. A lot of people don't realize that the best tequila comes in a mirrored covered vessel wearing a poncho with a Corona logo. Come on down to the Mart. They said you couldn't combine disco mirror. Emily patiently waited for her turn to feed the fish. Come on down to the Mart. The gymnastic albino frog was good, but he